Hi traders, you're listening to Mike Hamilton. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. If you're in Europe, then I hope you're having a fantastic long weekend. So the Central European zones were on holiday on Friday. UK's on holiday on Monday. So Europe doesn't get back to normal till Tuesday. In the meantime, the US is just carrying on as normal, because they don't have Labour Day. And the UK one day may have a Labour Day that's synchronised with Europe, and we might pretend that we're in Europe one day. Okay, in the meantime, we have a busy week ahead. It's an exciting week ahead, and really looking forward to seeing what happens on Tuesday when Aussie rates are projected to be dropped from 2.25% to 2%. European jobs on Tuesday, not a lot of data on Monday, thank goodness, while the UK is away, because I don't want too much to happen while I'm not around at my desk. Services data for the UK on Wednesday, and we start to get the initial US jobs data on Wednesday, and then as usual with non-farm payroll we get Wednesday, Thursday and Friday is jobs data, but Friday is the big non-farm payroll number, which is expected to be very good. So the main target for the week is to see what the Aussie is going to do and to see what the dollar is going to do based on projected good data for jobs. So at the moment the weekly Dow is flat again. So we are struggling with this 18,200. 18,100 is a bigger fire line. So any close above 18,100 on Monday could trigger, and we break 18,200 on Tuesday, Wednesday, could trigger a run up to the top of this area here. And ordinarily I would expect to, if we are going to see a run, then I would just expect a squirt into mid-May to test some of these upper areas, but perhaps 18.5, and then potentially roll over. The Dow on the daily chart very, very narrowly closed above Thursdays. So this is what I want to see. I want to see what this is going to happen around this box. If we come out of the box, retest the box, I would close above the box. I would try and buy a pullback to the box to see if we can push up. For depth of the box is 150 points. But if, like I said, I think we could see 18.5 plus if we close above. Start closing under 18,000, and we could just roll over. So hopefully we'll get. I hope we get some kind of indication on Monday, or the very least Tuesday. And we've got Chinese manufacturing on Monday, so who knows, we might even come to our desks on Traders Roundtable on Monday at 7, which is still running despite the fact it's UK holiday. And then we can see what's going on. So I lost my train of thought momentarily there. My only concern is this Russell. This Russell had a really, really weak day. This is the small caps in the US market, small capitalized stocks. So this is a real concern. The transport index is very, very weak, which is normally a leading indicator, and this Russell is extremely weak. It just about clung on to a little blue bar on Friday, and that's all. So there are concerns. DAX, despite Central Europe being away on a holiday on Friday, did manage to close higher. So we actually managed a reversal signal. A new low, close above next day. It within the fib zone. If you take the fib zone from the low of March this year and to the highs. So I mean, if this fib zone does work, we need to, again, we need a higher close into above 11.5 on Monday when Germany gets back to its desk. But we push up into 11,600, and I think this is toast. I think that's the most likely scenario. We could even just break 11,300 on Monday and start the decline and come and hit some of these fib levels, and of course the daily 200. But the weekly, it was a very weak close. You can see from the fibs I've taken in at the moment, we're sitting on the 127 extension. So if we can hold this level here and hold this 127 extension, we could retest the highs. But that was a really nice sell signal on the week beginning the 13th. We've closed lower for 2 weeks out of 3, and that looks as if that's not happy up there. But I will wait and see. And gold is all over the place. Potential stopping bar in the weekly there. The daily, you can see, closed under the fib level. I think with a strong jobs data, if that comes right, I think this dollar could get very strong and this gold could just roll over. I mean, it's closed under the fib level. It's a lower close again, but I'm just not trading it. I will stand aside. So let's look at the US dollar CAD first. So it's a lower close still on US dollar CAD, so we are still weak. But we're coming off this 200. I took a couple of moves off this on Thursday and Friday, just scalping it. Just got the bulk of reasonable slice of those two bars, in fact. But you can see on the overall fibs, all we've done at the moment is come back down to this fib zone. So if we start to come up here, 1, 2, 3, and fail, then that expects us to roll over. All the time we are coming off the 200 and we're closing higher, then I would buy pullbacks. I would definitely buy pullbacks, but I would just be very, very careful once we got to these upper areas. So bottom line, if I've got some buying signals, then I will keep buying. If we come to Elliott wave, and let's just draw this on. Come to Elliott wave. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And we've had 1, 2 waves down. So I think we could potentially get a really, really nice short in somewhere around this area here. Because we are basically had a really, really nice move to the downside from 128 to close to 120, and we're closing lower in the weekly charts, and we still have the 50% right down here. So I mean, this chart is still very, very extended because the 200 EMA on the weekly is right down here at 109. So if this is just, I'm looking for this to rotate back down to the downside, to return to the downtrend, but I just think we're going to see a bounce before that starts. So I'm looking at the US dollar CAD very carefully. The US dollar yen, I don't like this chart from the point of view that 120.40 is a major resistance level. But if I stick to my rule of just buying pullbacks in charts above that are continue to close higher and trading above the 55 EMA, I would be needing to buy a pullback to about 975, 980. Obviously 950 is a better bet, a higher probability I should say. but we have a lot of resistance up there. And this weekly 50 EMA is still some distance away. So what I think, in a bullish consolidation like that, when a chart is so extended, I would still expect a pullback so that this chart comes down to meet the 50 EMA. You can see an example up here. In 2013, we pushed up very, very high, and then we had decent pullback from that must be about 102 right down to 94, and then 50 EMA got closer, and then we started to push higher, and we kept pulling back until we actually broke. So that's what I'm expecting here. I'm just expecting this to come down, even though we're bullish up here. I'm expecting this to come down and test that level. Expecting some strength in the end. Right, pound. Very nasty sell-off on Thursday and Friday. So if we get any kind of pullback to 152, 50, 60, I think we're at least going to come and visit 150. If you look at the weekly fibs, this is on the whole big move from the highs of 07 to the lows of January 09. You can see we've put a reversal bar under this bottom of this fib zone. So we could potentially really come off of this. If we start closing under 150 and can't hold 150, then of course we got the support at 145. If that gives way, we could come and see 140. But 150 is a massive fire line, and just because forget the election for now, just concentrate on what the charts are telling you. Don't assume that it's going to run up as soon as the election's gone, or it's going to sell like crazy. Let's just wait and see what the charts are giving us, but one step at a time. In the meantime, that's a significant sell-off over a 2-day period from the test on Wednesday at 155 to the close on Friday at 140. So let's go across to the Aussie, because the Aussie is very, very interesting. We've got potential Aussie drop-in rates on Tuesday night. You can see we're closed on the 61.8 with a red seller's bar, and the weekly close just was a lower close, but sat inside the previous week's bar. So although that's weak, it is holding up. And if you look at the bigger picture, we are holding this fib level here, 192.50. We closed at 193. So while I'm away from my desk on Monday, I want to see where this one would close. I would love for this to come down to 192. Give me a buy signal at 192 on Monday, or at least traders around tables towards the end of the session on Monday, and for me to hold that into the rate decision to see if I can get a bounce up to 195 plus. So that will be a distinct plan for that one. Euro, reversal bar under the fib, under massive area of resistance. So if we start to move into 112.20, and the euro had a lot of good data last week, hence the reason why the euro US and euro yen had such a fantastic week. You can see on this weekly fibs we have just closed touching this 38.2% fibs. So that makes it slightly, it's had a good week. It's a very bullish bar. So potentially a 200 point drop, 180, 200 point drop, which this reversal bar suggests, could then see that ball later in the week. But a reversal bar is a reversal bar. It's under a fib, high RSI. So this counts well. So a pullback to 112 to 20, 50 could see that drop off, but again, we'll get confirmation. If we are going to drop hard, we could get confirmation Monday, and hopefully get a chance to get a pullback on Tuesday. Right, so that's all I've got for you. Let's have a look at oil. Don't like oil at the moment. Big push up from the middle of the week, spinning top on Friday, really low volume. So I would love to see a pullback to 57 at least. The bottom of this box. 54 is the weekly box. 56, 57 is the support on the daily. Just sitting right in the middle of that 55 and 200 EMA on the daily, so I would just stay out of it. With high RSI, I would wait for a pullback. So a quick look at stocks that we were interested in, or certainly I was interested in last week. I'm short this one, and I'm actually stopped out now for a small loss. What I've done is shorted up here, had a profit, came into some profit for 2 days straight after my entry, and then got a stop to break even with a little bit of space, and we just bounced on Friday. So I will stay out of that one. And just steer clear of these. Let's have a look at this ISRG. Wow, it's had a lot of selling, but trying to bottom. I will keep an eye on that one. 2 weeks of lower closes. But I will keep a check on that one. Right, quick look at this one. Galliford's slightly underwater on this one as well. My stop's very, very close. But these are small losses. These are small losses. Assuming this one doesn't, if this one is a spinning top, if it rolls over, then obviously I'm going to make a profit, but in the meantime I'll stand aside. This one, just FCX, has just run away from me, so I'm going to have to wait. Facebook has got a stopping bar, so I am just going to give that a little bit more time, but I like the look of Facebook. And I will stand aside. Alibaba, going to give that more time as well. UK Steel. I'm going to do this proper scan on Monday for stocks. AA, good run, pulling back. Not a great weekly. Not a great. I'm not in this, but just the stock we looked at in the room. Just be very, very careful of that one. Glaxo came down, bounced. I personally, 15 is obviously a big number. It just dipped underneath 15 and closed above it, so that's potentially a good buy signal. Potentially. ITV, gap down, moving sideways. Rolls Royce sitting up there, holding the range up there nicely. WH Smiths. I'm laughing because I keep looking for shorts in this one and it keeps closing higher. So I'm steering clear. I'm not in this. I haven't traded this for quite a while. So I am just. If we look at the FTSE held up, had relative strength against the other indices last week. That's a very nice close on Friday. So let's give it time. Let's let these markets come to us and give them time. All right. So like I said, join me at 7 PM on Monday. That's 8 PM Central European time. and 2 p.m. Eastern time. Alright, and then we'll have a good session on the price behaviour that we've seen on Monday while the UK's been off, and then we'll try and gauge and predict moves for the rest of the week. Alright, thanks for joining me and enjoy what's left of your weekend.